So this is the first Tiny Table Talk live for the Challenge USA. I hope everybody's having a good weekend so far. I'm excited to actually get down and talk about this season. So to kick off Tiny Table Talk lives, I decided to make an intro, and hopefully everybody enjoys it and we can get that vibe going, that mood going here. So here we go. A show that's run off of MTV has a spin-off on CBS. Welcome to the land of basic cable, will the fans buy in? Changing the channel, tuning in for the first time. Looks a bit different, but I see the challenge sign. This is all so crazy, everybody is a rookie. My tummy's churning and I'm feeling kinda homesick. Too much pressure and I'm nervous. That's when the commercial ends and here we go. We got TJ walking in. We got TJ walking in, and then TJ's walking in. So I put my hands up, they're playing the game. I'll have so much to say. I'm nodding my head like yeah, moving my hips like yeah. Got my hands up, they're playing the game. I hope it's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's the Challenge USA. It's a Challenge USA. That was the intro that I made. You know when you do something and you think that it's going to be like, it's going to be really good and you're not going to be embarrassed about it at all? Yeah, that's exactly where I'm at. Okay, so let's get this started on Tiny Table Talk live. Let's go into the first. My ideas and thoughts and feelings on the vibes and the format. And I have to say that I absolutely love the format of the Challenge USA. Coming into this season, I was cautiously optimistic. You don't know what a whole bunch of new players will be like in a challenge atmosphere. And I have to say that these players, one, had a lot of personality. Two, I'm glad some of them actually looked up what the challenge is and know some of the rules and even knew who TJ was. I mean, we had people last season not know who TJ was, Gabo. And at least Kylan knew who TJ was, said he watched the other season, a couple of seasons, which when he said, I watched the last 10 seasons, I instantly thought, okay, so he just watched the best of CT because that was just all of the majority of those were CT wins as of recently. But I love the format. I love that there's incentive to win the daily challenges. Why a really good incentive to win eliminations, not just to stay in the game. And it also gave me like one of those old school vibes because of the bank accounts and the individual bank accounts. And I just finished rewatching The Ruins like a week ago. And just the thought of somebody has an individual bank account, you're going to go into the elimination, and then you get to take everybody's bank account. And also that puts the top dogs that keep on winning daily challenges in jeopardy. So it's not like somebody can just coast and whatever. If you're like going down towards the end of the game and you need a quick $5,000, you can throw in basically anybody or somebody who's been watching or are doing well in the season and just go in and try to take all their money. To me, I love that aspect. Also, I love that everybody's going to be swapping partners. And it's not going to just be like, oh, you're going to be my partner for the whole time. First of all, I knew something was up when TJ was just like, pick your partners. That's never going to just hold up. You know, TJ is not just going to be like, pick your partners. It's fine. Whatever happens, happens. And then he's going to be like, you can stay with those partners for the rest of time. No, that's way too easy. At least in Double Agents, they had to fight and play to figure out at least who was going to get their first pick of a partner. So I like the idea of the algorithm. I think we talked about it on Friday night, where the idea of the algorithm is good because you want everybody to have to swap up partners. And then you get to see whose social game is the best, you know, when, say, if Xavier is partnered up with a Survivor player like Tasha, and now he's swapped in, and now he's partnered up with, I don't know, Shannon. Now you get to really see where his social game lies and where he is in order of the hierarchy of the Big Brother alliance. Will the Big Brother players be like, well, we should take him out now? This would be our great opportunity to take him out because he's with somebody that we deem is not a good partner or not a good challenger. So I think that this is going to be a lot of fun. I just think that with us not knowing exactly or the transparency of the algorithm, I mean, what Chantel said earlier in Fridays could happen and be like, well, they're going to protect the people that are really good on camera. Well, I don't want to see somebody just walking through the game and getting good partners early on to really help themselves get further into this game because they're quote unquote good for the camera. I want to see people really compete, and I want to know that there is some logic behind it to where it is random, where we're going to see players just being put with whoever and really get to see what they're made of as a partner to various different partners. How will they stack up against everybody else when maybe they don't have the best partner? So I really enjoyed this format. I like the vibe. And the one good thing about this being a really, really solid format is the reason that we're going to have to see it probably 3 more seasons at least, because this is most likely going to be the same format for Argentina, UK, and Australia. So to me, I'm very much looking forward to seeing how this season goes along, the execution of this season, how everybody traverses the twists and everything like that. And I think it's going to be really, really difficult, but a lot of fun to watch as a viewer. So this first episode I thought was really good. I'm loving the format. The cast has a lot more personality than I thought. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing what the rest of the season could be. Like, I'm looking forward to Wednesdays now. Now, I was worried that after All Stars, I'd be being like, what could this, what will Wednesdays look like? Am I going to be going from one Big Brother episode into the Challenge USA and just feel meh through a whole like 2 hours on my Wednesday night? But I'm actually looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. And you know what's really awesome? TJ seems to be having a really fun time too. You know, like TJ seems to be having a lot of fun. Kind of reminds me of how he feels like on All Stars. He just seems to be having a really, really good time. All right. I did want to talk about one other thing, and that is the house. The house is one of those. It's one of those. The house is one of those places, and one of the things of this season that I'm not a huge fan of. You know. So I kind of wanted to just go through. I didn't even get to watch this really, but MTV put out a house tour video. Oh my gosh. We can't watch this video all the way through because if I do put this out, well, even if the video is not made available in public, MTV could still hit me with copyright and tell me like I can't put this up anywhere, and this is going to be blocked for across all platforms. So I just thought we could click through this, maybe go over the house, because we didn't really get to see the house. I mean, it's a warehouse with furniture in it, so I'm not too crazy about the house, but I think that we can like take a look at what the house looks like together and maybe get to see get a vibe of what it is. We get this nice open area. I think back in the back right over here is where the teams actually came in. So there is like a lobby area and then this huge open space area with what looks to be the lunchrooms type tables and then 4 couches. Everybody's been talking about this gives them Total Madness vibes, and I can totally understand where they're coming from. I'm happy that it's not a bunker like Total Madness was. I feel like Total Madness was suffocating. This is much more wide open, in my opinion, than Total Madness. We have, again, Tiffany and Xavier, and they're going to be walking around showing us all the different areas. If you have not seen this video, you can go check it out. It's 8 minutes. Again, I can't play the video because of potential copyright issues. But we can see here that I'll just play a little bit more. Okay, that's a great drone shot right there. So you get the other side of where we came from, and we're going through the living room to the kitchen to where the gym area is at. This really is, I don't like this kitchen area much. Oh, man. And you know what? If anything had to give and be not as stellar or not up to my liking, I would rather the house be the only thing that wasn't up to my high expectations, you know? Like, I love the houses. I watch $1 Million Listing. I watch all those Bravo shows. I've watched Selling Sunset and Selling Tampa. So I love watching these houses and house tours. This one is very low on my list and rankings of the challenge houses, just because it is such a warehouse with random stuff. I think the gym is actually pretty chill. Yeah, the kitchen is not. They spent like a minute on the kitchen, and it's barely anything. This is a very nice workout area. It's a nice little cube, open cube, you know, with a squat rack, one squat rack, a couple of treadmills. They even have a bar where they can do dips and leg raises, do some ab workouts. They have a punching bag as well, which is really good. Dominic cheesing out there, photobombing them. They do a good amount in the gym. I mean, this is the thing, though. This is such a big warehouse and house for the Challenge USA. However, there is no privacy, right? If you go to, this is one giant room, right? There is nothing separating the gym from the kitchen to the living area. And then I think they have one garage door where you can open it up and it's all the bunk beds. There's no getting away from people. Maybe you can go outside, but even the outside is technically an inside outside, as Tyson mentioned. Yeah, here we go. There's this giant door. And here's all the bunk beds. This legit gives me Squid Game vibes, where it's just, it almost looks like 3 bunk beds, right? It's just 2. Yeah. Cause it looks like there's one bunk bed, another bunk bed, and then on top is another bunk bed, or they just wanted to put a roof over these bunk beds. That's insane. Yeah, that's just, it's not even a real, there's not even a real roof. What is the point of that top area of the bunk bed? Oh, this does not look comfortable. This looks like when you go to summer camp. This looks like jail summer camp with how brightly orange it is. Yeah, this is not fun. This is no thank you. This is this is no thank you, in my opinion. Oh, we gotta let this ad play. I'll stop sharing for a second. I gotta stop sharing for a second because I don't want to give free advertisements to them. You know, can't let it happen. I don't want to get hit with a copyright strike by showing showing ads from another video. How bad would it be if you get hit with copyright strikes on a video because of an advertisement and nothing else? All right, we're back. Here we go. All right. All right. That's a little fun moment. Then they're going to walk into a random other room. What? Where do they walk in from? Can I just... Oh, that's 5 seconds. Can't. Yeah, they just walk from the bedroom to this other side of the room. What is this? What is this house? What? This was already there. I cannot... There's no way the challenge painted these palm fronds and these leaves. There's no way. But I guess they're going to the outside area. So they open a random door. They open a random door and it looks like it's empty. Like this is where they put tools when they're not doing a construction site on this warehouse. Again, I did not watch this before doing this. This is the bathroom area, I guess. So they go outside to get to the bathroom area. All right, cool. Urinals, that's cool. That's awesome. Yeah, this is real house living. You got to at least have 3 to 6 urinals if you're going to have a house like this. Oh, man, this is giving me public restroom vibes. Yeah. Okay. This isn't. I can't say anything nice. I'm not going to say anything at all. Oh, man. I like that they, you know what I will say, that it's interesting that they did this while everybody was in the house. You know, like this was interesting that they decided to do this when everybody was in the house. We had Enzo, I only saw the beginning portion, but Enzo was like running on the thing. We saw Dominic cheesing in the background. Clearly people are in the bathroom. Here's the outside area. Do they have a hot tub? It looks like a hot tub. Yo. Yeah, it is a hot tub. Man, night 1, we didn't get to see the hot tub? What is that all about? I love this fire area, though. This looks really comfortable. This looks like something from like a Sears catalog. Is Sears still out? Is Sears still in in business? That's really, I mean, at least the hot tub and this fire pit area looks really nice. All right, A+ for the fire pit area. We have not gotten this area at all. This is really freaking nice. And then is this where is this the game area? Oh, booze. We got a bar area. Maybe we're going to see some, oh no, this is where they do the deliberations, where they get to chat about seeing who, well, they get a bar area, but there are where they do the deliberations right here with everybody, where they did Azah and Kylan talking to Tyson and Angela, and we got to see everybody's bank accounts and everything. And then, yep, that's it. Go check it out so that's the house. I was intrigued to see what it was. I wanted to kind of do it on the fly. But yeah, it's not my favorite house. After doing the tour, I was like, maybe there's something different that we didn't get to see, because we didn't really get to see the house tour at all, or much of the house at all in the actual show. And I can say right now, I can see why. It's nothing exciting. And you know what? It's going to be interesting, because this is probably going to be the house for all the spinoffs. I don't know if it's going to be for the Challenge 38, but I have a feeling it would be. I don't know. But we'll get to see what happens. Yeah, if you want to check that out for yourself and get to hear the camaraderie between Xavier and Tiffany, and actually go hear what they have to say and go watch the whole video. It's only 8 minutes and 2 seconds. Chris really enjoyed the video, saying that he really liked the dynamic between Xavier and Tiffany. So if you would like to go check that out, I highly recommend it. Go check it out. I saw enough. In my opinion, I saw enough. So if I had to give grades, and if everybody else wants to give grades on this, you can give a grade on the format between A to F. You can give, let's say, overall, let's say vibes. I guess vibes of the season so far, or just do episode 1. What would you grade episode 1 on a scale of A to F? And then what would you give the house, A to F? So for the house, I think I would give it a D+. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not at all what I expect coming into the challenge. And knowing that we're going to have to see this house like at least 3 more times, I'm going to get tired of it. So I'm going to give it a solid D+. The first episode, I give it a B+, because there is room for improvement, but it highly totally took me off guard. Like, I did not expect the first episode to be as good as it was. So I'm going to give it a B+, and then I'm going to give the format a solid A. I don't know, besides the algorithm being a little bit wonky and not knowing the transparency of it, I still like the idea of it. And I'm hoping that the execution of everything goes well. So I am going to give the format an A. And yeah, it looks like Chris also gives the format an A, vibes a B, and the house summer school. Oh no. You know what? Those bathrooms do look bad. I hated the tile. The bathrooms remind me most of Total Madness. No, thank you. I would have hopefully they're going to be better than Total Madness, because they had to bring in porta potties in Total Madness, and that sounds like an absolute nightmare to me. To me, that's a nightmare, having to be on a challenge season in a high stressful situation, and then you are expecting me to do my business in a porta potty. Get out of here. Format A, and then vibes F for foe. Lovable Nikki will not call this season Challenge USA. And I just don't understand why. Why wouldn't you? Anyways, Demetria, welcome. House F, format B minus. See? Okay, I will say that normally the format is where it hinges most. And I think B minus so far being the lowest grade that we've given it, that's solid. I will say that is solid. We spend a lot of time on the format and the house. So let's jump into the next segment, which is this one. Here we go. Oh, no, I was going to do that again. All right, there we go. Big Brother can it be a big mess? Now, there is a ton, and I will say a ton of talk this past week. I mean, it's only the first episode, and the most things we got talking about is Big Brother and the cookout. I mean, whenever Big Brother was brought up, the cookout was also brought up, mainly by Alyssa and Derek X, I guess we can just call Derek. There's no other Derek, and I'm sure we're not going to get him confused. And is this Derek Kaczynski or is this Derek Frazier? No, it's Derek X. So with Derek and Alyssa bringing up and kind of slinging out, throwing their fellow Big Brother members under the bus, I think that this has the potential to get messy, and I think it could happen sooner rather than later. If we remember, and it kind of popped into my mind earlier today, if we remember the conversation between Desi, Chantel, or Shan, and Azah, they were talking about how the Love Island contestants seem really close with one another, Survivor players, even though Sarah isn't being the most social, even within her own Survivor group, is saying that they're going to be Survivor strong. And Azah was like, that's how you know you're going to go further into the game, if you're really close with each other and you're very much a tight-knit group, right? And it's just the thought that, one, that conversation was left in the edit, and two, we can understand and see very early on that Big Brother is completely fractured. I mean, we hit night 1, day 0 in the game, and we already had Alyssa and Derek X talking so much about trying to get revenge right off the bat. Now, I mentioned yesterday in the Friday Live on Chantel and Chris's channel, and I said that they're seeming a little bitter. They kind of got outplayed. It was a game. Let it roll off your back. Don't take it so personal. And somebody in the comment section said, screw that, make it personal. And I, for one, say, if you want to be successful in a game like the challenge, you can't be as reactive or emotional, especially so early on. You have to make sure you take the right shots at the right time and the right opportunities to help further yourself in the game. But to make everything so personal early on, you can have the whole season crumble at your footsteps, to the point where I don't think, especially if a Big Brother player leaves earlier than later, I think majority of the Big Brother players can find themselves out of this game possibly by the halfway point. I think there's so much distrust. And you know what's crazy is that coming onto the season, I think so many people looked at this Big Brother group that they brought onto the season, and majority being from the same season. And then you have a whole bunch of the other players. I mean, yes, Love Island, half of them came from the same season. None of the Amazing Race players played with each other. And some of the Survivor players played with each other, and then they've just come from random different seasons. So you would think all the Big Brother players coming on from the same season, also being from a same alliance, majority of them, would play a huge factor and be such an advantage, is actually the disadvantage for the Big Brother players. And to me, that's going to be their downfall, I think. I mean, Xavier is putting so much trust in Alyssa. You have Alyssa who wants to snake out everybody in the cookout, including Derek X, who wants to take them out as well. And I granted, they're going to have to take them out. Unless they're paired up with one of them, you have to take out players, even from your own season, to help you get further into the game. But being this early on and talking about revenge, I just feel like this could be a huge, huge problem for the Big Brother players, especially Azah and Kyland, who just got last place this past week. I mean, it was the first challenge, and they're not who I would have deemed the weakest duo in this daily challenge, yet they got last place by a big margin. Granted, it's the first daily challenge. They went first in the first daily challenge. I just think that I just think that the Big Brother players are going to play themselves out of this game. But that's just my thought at just the beginning edit. It just seemed like there's so much baggage and so much emotion between their group in particular that they could find themselves just cannibalizing each other sooner rather than later. And then after a while, I think the other shows would start to, like, maybe the outsiders of Angela, who seems to be really strong in with Tyson. You have Enzo, who I don't think really fits in with really any group except the older crowd, which is, I guess, the Survivor players. And then I think David also could branch out a bit and maybe go with the Love Island contestant because he's really young. And so are the Love Island contestants. I mean, honestly, if you're not from BB23, they could, once they start cannibalizing each other, you could see them start to branch out to other shows and be like, hey, they're a mess. I want to be playing with you. I want to be a part of your alliance. And then if, say, some of the cookout players leave, and then Alyssa and Derek X are feeling good about themselves, but now they've taken out so many Big Brother numbers. By the time they do that, then maybe Survivor and Love Island players, or even the Amazing Race players, find themselves in a better position of power. And they're just like, all right, let's just take out the rest of the Big Brother players and we don't even have to worry about them. You know? I don't know. That's just my idea. After seeing how much they put emphasis on the cookout and getting quote unquote revenge. Revenge for what? Playing the game better than you? So I just think that it could be that to their downfall that they're over here being like, we got to go. We got to get them. We got to get them. I understand you feel like you got played by them, but keep your eyes open, stay aware, look for any red flags, but play the game smart instead of reactionary, being like, well, they got me out last time, so I have to get them out this time. Yeah, pick and choose your battles here. That's just my opinion on it. All right. Let's finish. Let's do one more segment, and then we'll do the live comment section, and then we'll get to the live comment section and just have a good old time finishing out this this live Tiny Table Talk, the first Tiny Table Talk. Hope everybody's enjoying it so far because I'm having a good time. But let's do one more section. You know what? I'm not going to do that section. We're not going to do that section. Let's do the MVP, because I actually was going back and forth between the MVP and doing like 3 random segments. Let's go through the MVP section, and I will give out my MVP to who I think played the best game And I'm going to say my MVP from episode 1 is James from The Amazing Race. Talk about a player who was down and out, had probably the partner that had the biggest target on their back, gave everybody the easy option to throw them into the elimination. Also, James is a part of the smallest group in the season, yet he came to play. I feel like James is the true reality fan out of everybody in the house. I feel like he knew. It wasn't he on his Amazing Race player talking about how him and his partner before going on to the Amazing Race, like, watched a whole bunch of seasons and tried a whole bunch of different tasks on those seasons. Like, I feel like James is such a steward and a student of reality TV that once he was given this opportunity, he went back and watched a ton of The Challenge, watched some Survivor if he hadn't already watched all those seasons. And he knew how to play Tyson. And I don't mean play Tyson because it doesn't really matter to Tyson who goes in and who doesn't. But knowing that somebody else was willing to work with him rather than somebody else who he was never going to get on the same level with like Giovanni and Selly. I don't think he cared who stayed. James just made him an offer, and James knew what to say and how to like make it enticing to Tyson. So I just thought that he played a really strong game this opening round. Man, I want to give my women MVP. I'll give it to. I really want to give it to Selly because I really liked how she took charge in the elimination despite being eliminated. I felt like she got the idea of Not So Fast down pat. She knew the strategy. It just came a little too late. I think Chantel said in yesterday's live that they actually were able to jump out ahead. They just pulled the rope out in the wrong area. And I just think that her leadership in the elimination was really, really strong. What would you guys say who should be the MVP on the women's side? Because I guess there could be an argument made for who is it? Shannon for talking to Angela to stay out of the elimination. We could talk and bouncing back after being vulnerable. We could also say that is Angela for winning in the daily challenge. We could also say that it was Azah for passing out at the daily challenge at the end. And then on the other side, being able to pull out this win and work with Kyland, who she mentioned they did not get along with each other on their Big Brother season. So there's another like pairing or Big Brother partnership that did not work out. And we knew that Kyland also had something with beef with Xavier on their season. Now Azah is saying that she didn't really get along with Kyland on their season. And then you have Alyssa and Derek X. Oh my goodness, Big Brother is such a big mess. Yes, Chris, you can definitely say that the MVP for the women is Azah's fake. Oh man, that was awesome. You know what? Everybody came to play. I will say that everybody came to play. Nobody gave up on at a heights challenge. Nobody said, "Oh, this is too hard. I don't want to do this." Nobody freaked out. Everybody got strapped in, did the daily challenge, tried it out. Everybody knows math. How crazy is that? We don't get that on the main season. Yet here we are, and everybody can do math. It may take some people a little bit longer, David and Kayla, but they did it, and they did a really good job at it. So shout out to everybody that could do the math portion. And then for a game of Not So Fast, I mean, Giovanni, Selly, Kyland, and Azah all showed up. I'm really, you know what? The more I talk about this episode, the more I get hyped about this episode and more I'm looking forward to the next week of the Challenge USA. But that is it for the segment portions of Tiny Table Talk. I'm sorry if it was a little janky. I'm going to get my rhythm down with this. This is the first episode. So I'm going to turn it over and start reading through the comment sections or the comments in the chat. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. So yes, Will and James practiced common Amazing Race tasks, because there was one where they had to balance the bottle on their head and then do like a yoga pose with it and then get it over and pour it out. So that's what I was in my mind thinking of. So I'm glad I actually got that right, because I actually watched their season and I really enjoyed their season. I also think that from reading somebody in the comment sections from my review and recap video, they mentioned that James actually spearheaded the alliance within the Amazing Race season, which now is kind of like a rule now that they banned alliances in the season because of him. But yes, James' partner Will was also on ANTM himself. So very plugged into the 2000 era. What was ANTM? I'm sorry, I don't know what ANTM is. It's not popping up into my brain. The MVP is James AC. Also, AC has a comment. Can we talk about Cinco crushing the Love Island stereotype of not really wanting to compete? So this is the thing, right? I honestly believe, and I don't know if he had it in his mind of wanting to be America's Next Top Model. Thank you. Wow, he was on America's Next Top Model. That's incredible. I mean, he is gorgeous. Both of them are gorgeous. Back to this question. Can we talk about Cinco crushing the Love? So when Cinco got called into Love Island, I don't know if he actually thought that there was a idea that he could be called for one of these shows. Maybe he thought possibly if I'm on Love Island, another reality show will call. Maybe The Challenge. Maybe he was aware of the challenge. But I do think that Cinco he used to be a college football player. So he is no person shy of competing. And I think now that he is given this opportunity in such a high level, performance-based, doing adrenaline, high octane challenges, and the possibility of being able to branch from this challenge to the main season or big money's on the line, I just think that Cinco, his competitiveness just kicked in and he is engaged into this season. I don't think Love Island was his speed. I think he is the type of person that wants to work out, wants to compete. He still wants to very much be like an athlete. And I think he's in the perfect spot if he wants to be reality TV, also competition level competing. So I really liked what the Love Island gave us in terms of entertainment value. Not some of them are completely aware of how crazy these challenges can be or how stressful these challenges can be. But I will say that I think that Cinco is really coming in with his eye on the prize and also thinking that this could be a huge opportunity for him to, I don't know, maybe he did look into the challenge and saw Bananas doing 20 seasons, CT doing, I think 19 seasons, West doing 15, and thinking, if I can lock this in, I could, 1, get a lot of cash, 2, get some notoriety, and 3, maybe have a steady job in competing for, who's to say, 15 seasons, and just keep going on that level. And Cinco was on like the top of my list of wanting to see on the main season of the challenge. And I just think that he wasn't never really into the Love Island scene. You can even tell like in his confessionals that he's just like, no, we're done with Love Island. I left that behind me. Like, I don't want to even be associated with Love Island. It wasn't that great. It wasn't that exciting to me. So just put that in my rear view. And now it's time to just compete. Something big is going to happen between him and Cache. I could just tell with their recent breakup. And then the whole thing of him going to Tiffany in the kitchen area and being like, I don't have to talk to her to do well on the season. It's like, Maybe you do. You're probably going to have to talk to her at some point. You might even be partnering up with her in episode 2. So something big is going to happen between them. So, all right, let's go into any more comments. Kip and Claus, welcome. Don't worry about it. You didn't miss much. Well, you did miss 3 segments, but on the replay, you can watch all of it. And we just went through the house tour and everything. So I hope it's fun and everybody is having a good time and that it'll be fun to rewatch. Let's go into some of the comments. If you have a comment, if you have a reply about the season or a question, or you would like to get my thoughts on something that I didn't mention in my review and recap, and you'd like to get my ideas off of it, let me know. Hit me up in the chat and we shall talk about it. Oh yeah, this is why Lovable Nikki will never say that the Challenge USA she will never call it the Challenge USA. She'll call it the Faux Challenge because it does not have real world or road rules. You're going to have to call the main season almost. You might have to be starting to call the main season the Faux Challenge because, I mean, we're not getting road rules on there. And then we're barely getting any real worlders anymore. But the All-Star season will definitely have it. Hopefully there's going to be another one. And that'll be the one where we get road rulers and real world all together. That is true. Everybody is still calling Amber B when I don't think we're ever going to get Amber M back on the challenge season. We might. I just don't think the challenge is really looking towards Amber M's way anymore. So, and Amber B, can I just say Amber B won? She should just be the Amber. Like, that's it. She is to be the one and only Amber. She won. So I think we should all stop calling her Amber B. Sarah isn't being social because she hates sharing a bunk bed with drunk 23. I think Sarah is just like, I got really cocky vibes from her. Also, she likes to talk like this. She's like, I don't know if something happened to her in like a fight or anything. I don't want to I'm not trying to make fun of her. I just noticed it because I've watched her on Survivor and I've never noticed her until this episode of the challenge where she talks more like on the side of her mouth. So I don't know if that just recently started to happen or something happened to her like in a fight or something. But I just got really cocky vibes from her. And it's only episode 1 and we got 2 confessionals from her. I think she's going to try to pass off on being intimidating, but she's going to have to win a daily challenge then. If she's not going to be thrown into an elimination, which is a possibility in this format, just don't throw them into elimination and maybe they won't get enough money to be able to run TJ's final. But she's going to have to win a daily challenge to be locked in because I don't think anybody really wants to go against her in a daily challenge. Sarah gives me crazy vibes. I'm sorry. She is cray. You're not wrong. We all see it. I think we all see it, just not all of us talk about it. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the anti-cookout edit. Again, like I mentioned, it just feels like Alyssa and Derek X took it so personally when they knew, the way it came off, they were like, oh, well, we thought we were friends and we were on the same team, and come to find out that was all a lie. Somebody lied to you on a reality show on Big Brother? You don't say. They weren't being your super best friends after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks on a show for $750,000 that you got outplayed on? Say it ain't so. Oh my gosh. Who would have known? I'm sorry if they got their feelings hurt, but so it goes. That's how it goes on a show like Big Brother, you know? I don't know. I rolled my eyes at every time because it just seems like that's going to be their main storyline. And then once it happens, once they make their move, I feel like they'll be gone the next week or whatever. Tiffany is annoying. We actually got very minimal Tiffany in this episode, which I was very surprised about. Like she mentioned, she didn't win her season, but she got America's favorite house guest. I think that's what it's called. But she got a good chunk of money and was voted the most popular with America. So I just thought that we would get more of her and her being more of a presence. I was actually very surprised that we got so many confessionals from Danny. Out of somebody who wasn't even a part of the daily challenges or the eliminations, Danny had 8 confessionals. Not even Shan had 8 confessionals. I think she had 2. And so did Tasha. I mean, Tasha and Shan were like confession gold on their seasons of Survivor. So I was highly expecting them to take front reign on a lot of the confessionals, and they did not. So I'm actually very surprised about that. I don't know if anybody else is surprised on who they did see or didn't see much of in the first episode. Enzo was very much quiet this episode, which I'm actually happy about. Don't do this. The main season has one of those. You can take off the /RR. You can take off the /RR. No road rule players have been on the challenge. Well, Darrell has been on challenge 36. But from there, I think it was 30 that we had the last road rules contestant on there. So, I mean, it's getting to the point where Darrell said that he didn't even want to be a part of the main season of the challenge, and they're not calling up Derek anytime soon, it seems like, for the main season. So we're having to rely heavily on the RW portion of the RW/RR of this statement right here. Yeah. Kip and Claus says, I get that Alyssa and Derek X are anti-cookout, but come on, they played a flawless game, and this is the challenge. You got to let that anger go, because they will not survive fighting their own people here. Yeah, and like we all mentioned, like when we were talking about Wes on All Stars 3, CT on the past 2 seasons, you got to take your shot at getting the people out that you need to take out so you have the better shot of winning in the finals. But in a game like this, where everybody is kind of like floating around doing their own thing, and so early on in the game, everybody's just going to stick to their show. You know, everybody's just going to stick to their show. Everybody right now is like Survivor strong, Big Brother strong, Love Island strong, amazing race, 3 amigos kind of thing. And so they're going to stick to their numbers, and the first crack or falter, and everybody's just going to jump onto it. Now, here's the thing. Love Island, and this was going to be the other segment, was the no love for Love Island. Love Island lost 2 players. So they're going to be at a disadvantage here. And I could see more people dropping off. But once they get to the point where they have like 3 to maybe 2 players left, then those 2 players can infiltrate somewhere else. And that's when we could see a bigger alliance kind of form, or hopefully, as we're moving through the weeks of the game, that people start to falter away from this show strong and just be like, we're going to play the game that I'm going to play. I like hanging out with A, B, or C. And then this is now our alliance. I don't talk to Sarah. Like, so if Desi's like, I don't talk to Sarah, but I talk to Shan and Azah, I'm going to start making more of connections there instead of with Sarah, who doesn't even talk to me. I mean, I'm really surprised if that was actually the case, because you can't go off of assumptions to be like, oh, well, we'll just be Survivor strong and I don't have to talk to everybody. Guess what? That's a poor social game. And you're not going to be able to survive off of assuming that somebody's just going to vote with you or never vote you in just because we're on from the same show, you know? So that didn't work for Wes when he decided to throw in Danny in Fresh Me 2. I just watched Fresh Me 2 recently, so that's just like in my brain. But yeah, so it just never works out that way, that you're going to just be able to just rely on, we're a TV show, from the same TV show, we'll just keep going further. So, but we'll see. Once everybody changes partners, that's when we're going to get to see really who's doing well in their certain social groups and who is not, because then they're going to be like, oh, you're partnered up with, I don't know, you're partnered up with Cachet. Well, let's just throw you in and see what that goes, or how that works out for you, kind of thing. But we'll see. AC says Love Island is going to be targeted hard. Those girls and also Boy Cash are teensy. Well, I also think that Love Island, again, was going to be this segment, so I'm glad you brought this up. Love Island is getting no love, and I think it is because the age difference. And also, they want to party. Like, I like the entertainment vibes that they brought in. And even if you are watching All-Star Shore or have Paramount Plus and want to talk about All-Star Shore, Trina and Johnny are really entertaining. Like, they're bringing so much drama. And All-Star Shore is incredible, by the way. So I just think that they are good entertainment-wise. I really like what they bring. And they are still competing. I just don't know how some of the competitors will like compare to other competitors from like Survivor and Big Brother, but just them just hanging out, dancing at the club as hard as they were. And then everybody else is like, well, they're partying really hard and we don't want to do that. Survivor seems super serious. Big Brother seems very serious. There is an age difference between everybody and Love Island. And I just think that that is going to play a factor, that people are going to look at them going like, they're not really here to compete. They're just here to party. And some people could see that as weakness. Some people could see that as, I don't want to be partnered up with a very young party animal that I don't see eye to eye with. I don't feel like I can connect with, and who I don't think will give 100% if we're partnered up in a daily challenge, in an elimination, or in the final. So I think them coming out so hard in the party area could actually be to their detriment. Even though I really appreciated that. I think they brought the moves, they brought the dancing, and it kind of gave me an old school vibe of when back in the day, the challengers would go out to the party scene and have a good time at the bar and then start some drama kind of thing. So, yeah. Ooh, I did not like Cashel's vibe in episode 1. He was so awkward. Yeah, I don't like Cashel either. I mean, I know Chris was there in the Friday talk with Chantel, Chris, and I on this, but I never liked Cashel. Again, another person that I don't think was a part of the Love Island vibe on his season. I mean, he was out on like day 24, and I just did not like him. He just does. He does give off that awkward vibes, and I don't know why. Like, honestly, when I saw him on the cast, I was like, why? Why did they just have like a random, like, we needed an extra guy and this was the best we could get? I mean, I feel I guess it was because of Kira being on. And so Kira and Cashel being exes, they were like, let's explore that storyline. And it's like, we don't have to. Like, we don't have to. There's probably nothing much to it, especially since Kira was on X on the Beach. I think she was on X on the Beach. No. X on the Beach was filmed like 2 years ago, I think, or a full year ago, before the pandemic even happened. And they were waiting to drop all those episodes. But yeah, he is not my favorite. And yeah, he's just so awkward. I never liked him on Love Island, and I was just like, no, thank you. No, thank you. AC says, yeah, he's a weird dude. And then he says, Johnny, Trina, Josh, anyone but Cashel. Are you saying you would want Josh on a season, just not Cashel? As long as Cashel's not on there? I don't think Cashel would. I would be shocked if, well, you know what? I'll take that back, because as long as he gotten good with one of the producers, we know that they'll just throw him in to a season. They'll throw in anybody, even if we don't like them. Hence why Josh is on like every single season. Or are you saying Josh from Love Island? Because now I'm getting confused. I think do you mean like Shannon's ex who is on Love Island? Because you mentioned 2 Love Island people and then Josh. So I think you mean Love Island. I got that confused. Every time I see Josh, I cringe a little bit, and then I always think of Josh Martinez. Thanks, challenge. Thanks, producers. This is what you've done to me. Chris, she was on X on the Beach way before the challenge. Yeah, that's what I thought. So Kira was in a relationship with David while Cashel is trying to flirt with her. Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't get to watch all of X on the Beach, but I remember that was a big point of contention, that X on the Beach was filmed like so long ago. And then they just held on to the film like, we're not going to let this out. We're not going to let this out. And they're like, let's just let it out. And it's like not good at all. Okay, that's what I thought. I was like, where did Josh fit into this? But I can understand where you're coming from. I think Josh was actually an alternate for the Challenge USA. And I think they were still together when they filmed the Challenge USA. So I think that it could have been interesting, but I also think that they wanted to explore the exes thing. If you come in with, I don't think we would have gotten the gold scenes that we've got from Shannon if Josh is in there, because that's her support system. She would not be she would not be like looking for that comfort from Giovanni, from Kira, from other players if Josh was there. And I think her talking about the push-ups was really funny. And yeah, I just think that we're getting more and better Shannon if Josh wasn't there. So I can totally see where they're coming from. I think the other alternate was Mike Holloway. I don't know. I don't know who I would have preferred. I guess anybody but Cashel. I'm going to go with AC. Anybody but Cashel. You know what? I take back what I wanted to say about Josh. Bring Josh in. I'm sure that they would have been crazy fun together with Josh and Shannon. And also, that's another friend for I think he's also a baseball player or a minor league player. So he would be a really good athlete to have on the show. But if nobody else has any more comments, I mean, I'm willing to go to an hour and 15, but if nobody else has any comments, we can just close up shop for the first live Tiny Table Talk. I just want to say thank you again for everybody who reached out and is supporting me through Patreon and is able to make these Tiny Table Talks happen. And if you're watching this live, thank you for being able to take some time out of your Saturday night to hang out with me, hear my thoughts on some of the Challenge USA, and even converse with me via the Challenge USA. And if you're watching this after it's already aired, thank you for supporting me. I hope you had a good time watching through this recording of me. And I will tweak some things here because I think there is some things that I could work on through this format. But I'm just really thrilled to be doing something different with Tiny Table Talk. I didn't want to get burned out because I really do feel like we're going to get 3 challenge seasons back to back with All-Stars heading straight into the Challenge USA to then get straight into, which I think is going to happen, straight into the Challenge 38 and then possibly into more spinoffs, either in the middle of 38 or just afterwards. So thank you so much for making this a reality. Thank you for letting me be able to talk to everybody live, get to communicate and connect with everybody on a different level, in a different way. And we're going to be doing this every single week on Saturdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I hope you do not get tired of that intro that I had at the beginning, because unless somebody else gives me a better song that has USA in the title of the song, we're keeping that as the intro. But if somebody else gives me another recommendation for USA, I will consider making lyrics specifically for the Challenge USA and making a new music video for the intro. But we will see if and when that will happen. But thank you, everybody, for joining me tonight. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much to everyone who supports me over here at patreon.com. I actually do have something I wanted to just throw out here. I want to be able to give everybody the proper shout out here, even though I know you know who you are. But I want to just throw this out there that thank you so much to everyone here. I really, really appreciate it. Honestly, it just means the world to me that there are people out there that love what I do, love the content that I make. I'm proud of the stuff that I make, but knowing that there are people out there that love it and love it so much that you guys would support me financially it means the world to me. So I really, really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to everyone who is watching this up to this point. I'll be back really, really soon with more Challenge USA content, more content in general, and next Saturday for another Challenge USA live Tiny Table Talk. Thank you so much. And I'll see y'all next time. Peace.